I am Oz, the great and powerful, finally returning to do another review, folks. Hey everyone, it is I, the great and powerful Oz. And since this is Asian month, I got a mystical, magical anime created by Disney and involves magic. You know, I had to say, folks, ever since I did that review of Hocus Pocus, if some of you remember my review of it, you should look it up. And then all of a sudden I discovered that, that this one critic, who I'm a big fan of, I mean, he talked about Hocus Pocus on Disney December, where he talked about Disney films on December, and everybody complained his negativity over Hocus Pocus, that therefore he decided to do a decent review, like you see in this picture. There's Nostalgia Critic and the Sanders and Sisters. You should watch his video, it's pretty funny. But, after watching his show, it got me thinking. He introduced a mystical magical witch. And it was based from Hayao Miyazaki films. And she's not like any other witch. Oh no. The witch I'm reviewing to you today, and since I haven't reviewed any Hayao Miyazaki films in a long time, what I'll be reviewing for you today is Kiki's Delivery Service. Now, I don't have it on DVD, I just watched it online. Now, Kiki's Delivery Service here was unlike any other. I mean, this was a really good story. She was the most interesting character, Kiki, and had some pretty good writing, and even treated kids like they were smart. Compared to Hocus Pocus, who just makes them think that somebody who is 13 is a virgin is a big deal. Awkward. Very awkward. Anyway, now, Kiki's Delivery Service here was a really interesting tale. It's about this young girl who goes by the name of Kiki. She is a witch, but she's not like any other witch. Of course, it's pretty much the same story you heard from Bewitched, or So I Married a Witch, or Bells, Books, and Broomsticks, starring Kim Novak.
And of course, I mean, Randy himself.
But unlike these stories, Kiki here is the little girl. She's a little girl who decided to choose her own destiny. So what she does is she travels to this small town. And what it is, it's a delivery service. Of course, I had to ask what kind of delivery service. You see, she meets this old lady who likes her, so she gave her an apartment, and she's a chef, and also works in a delivery service. So therefore, she hired Kiki and her trusty broomstick to fly all the way to one place to the next to deliver packages and goods. And of course, she has a talking cat who talks to her. Now, of course, the anime was made in Japan, but when Disney distributed it, they had Hilary Duff doing the voice of Kiki, and also Phil Hartman as the cat before he died. And there was a lot more into the story. Like one time, he saved the boy who was almost getting dropped on the edge by hanging onto a rope. Her and her trusty broomstick, she finally saved him. And all of a sudden, he built up this infatuation towards her. Not as, a forced relationship. Just more like, started out as friends and see what happens kind of thing. but does think of her as a cool witch. And of course, Kiki is pretty much torn between being a witch and being human, and she meets a lot of people in her journey. And it is a heartwarming story, because that's what Hayao Miyazaki does. He makes a lot of stories that is heartwarming and pretty touching. And it was really nice tale. Dang flies. Karapta! It is a pretty good tale. And she meets a lot of nice people in her journeys. So why don't you guys look up Kiki's Delivery Service. It is a pretty good tale, and sometimes I have a feeling it might be based on the book, but I don't know. I mean, heck, Kiki's Delivery Service got so popular that the people from Japan decided to make a live anime of it. Haven't seen it, but one of these days I would love to see it. And maybe read all the subtitles. And it's the same story about a Japanese girl named Kiki, who's a witch, going through her entire journey while talking to her black cat. Of course, one thing I had to say was really awkward about the anime movie, that every time when she flies her broom, her winds keeps blowing up her skirt, almost seeing her panties. I always thought that was an awkward thing. Gosh, and I thought Sailor Moon was more awkward. Very. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, for this Asian month, look up Kiki's Delivery Service, anime or live, and I'm sure some of you are going to get used to it. Heck, I still have a crush on certain actresses who played witches. Like that Emma Watson who plays Hermione Granger. She can aloha mora to my heart anytime she wants. And of course that Elizabeth Olsen who plays the Scarlet Witch. She's something. And one thing really cool that I noticed what she did a video explaining about her character in the comic books. And of course she did that thing where all the red stuff coming out of her hands and showing every comic book issue where she appeared in and explaining a lot about her. That was pretty cool. Elizabeth Olsen. I don't care if you're dating a guy who plays Captain America and played the Human Torch before that. One day you'll be mine. And you, Emma Watson. You can cast a spell on me any day. Sorry folks. Sometimes I daydream when it comes to beautiful actresses who played great witches. Like the Scarlet Witch. The heck with Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson wearing that tight outfit showing her cleavage. I like Elizabeth Olsen because she looks more decent as the Scarlet Witch. Even though in the comics the Scarlet Witch wears a bathing suit with red pantyhose and long gloves and high-heel boots and also a red cape in that headgear. But I always like decent-looking girls who plays heroic characters instead of wearing kinky stuff. It's silly. Anyway, remember, Kiki's Delivery Service. Look that movie up. It is a heartwarming tale. And as those of you who likes the video, likes my review, please leave a comment down below, subscribe, and next review I'm going to do for Asian Month is something very magical. As I, Oz, the Great and Powerful, is going to review to you another anime from Hayao Miyazaki, and it was based from a book written by a British author called Howl's Moving Castle. Let's see if the Disney enchantment works. Bippity boppity